Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Promoted channel. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you've enjoyed other videos thus far. But today, I want to dive into a very simple concept. This will probably be a shorter video, but I want to relay how this is going to tie into your professional career. Is really the moral of the story here. So I'm actually going to piggyback off of Mr. Classic Jordan Peterson, one of his 12 rules for life. Tell the truth or at least don't lie. This is something that I have found is incredibly overlooked in the professional world and definitely hinders people from moving up in the world, myself included. And I can even give my own story as to how this has impacted me both positively and negatively. So really, I don't think there's a lot of explaining that needs to be said in this principle. Now, the biggest thing isn't telling the truth, not lying, and why is it tell the truth or at least don't lie? And I think that it's because there's definitely a level of, in certain scenarios in life, age appropriate things, or again, you might need to filter a thing or two in terms of the language that you choose, and so there's going to be a level of kind of doing a level of a dance and a masquerade. But the key is just don't lie in terms of flat out knowingly incorrect information being presented as truth. And so doing this consistently is going to give you a level of powerful words within the professional workplace. So I'll give you a story on my side that I always tell, I always answer whenever I get asked in the interviews, a particular line of questioning, something around a big moment in my career where I learned a lot, or a place where I made a mistake or cost a company money, or kind of whatever it is. This is always just my immediate go-to and standout moment in my career, which is that I won't give the details of the organization I worked for, but I used to work in a retail organization in the technology side of the equation. They had a very large online presence, and myself and my counterpart at the time, we were doing maintenance on a particular set of technology. We did not do our due diligence in terms of prep work for doing the maintenance. We actually took down over half of the web farm, which therefore led to not being able to process sales. And full transparency, we cost over 7 figures in the time of the outage by the time it was start to finish. I actually got a call from the CEO in the middle of this. And this was my big growth moment. Was I had the opportunity to either blame this on a vendor or say that it wasn't our mistake or any of those sorts of things. And when the CEO called us in the middle of the issue happening, I had to flat out tell him, hey, I need to stop the money from bleeding. I need to prevent the revenue loss. I cannot talk to you right now. Let me do that and I will get back to you. Immediately right there, I did not know whether this is going to go over well or not. And please keep in mind, I never had talked to the CEO before either. So I had no prior existing relationship. I did not have a weight of my words or my trustworthiness or my relationship or any of that to bank on. This was first impression with this CEO. So I was told, okay, I trust you. Give me a call back. Awesome. So now I have the chance to prove my trust. My counterpart and I, we resolved the incident. We resolved the issue, brought everything back. Immediately after doing that, before I gave a call to the CEO to return that information, my counterpart and I had figured out where we went wrong. We corrected documentation. We modified the SOPs, sent the modified SOPs to our manager and leaders to say, hey, this should be going in place, as well as then emailed all the members on the team saying, hey, this is what we did. This was the gotcha. Here's the documentation. Here's the tentative SOP that we sent to the management to be approved on. So as soon as that's approved, please make sure you're following this. And really just checked all of our boxes in a row. Then I immediately called the CEO back. And again, this is where I had the opportunity to where I could have said, hey, this wasn't us. This was something outside of our hands. It was outside of our control, whatever it might be. But instead, I owned up to it. Hey, I made the mistake. This is what happened. This is what we didn't follow. This was the scenario. Now, here's the measures we put in place in order to prevent this from happening again. We corrected the SOPs. We've communicated with management. We communicated with everybody who's going to be doing this type of maintenance going forward. All of those different capacities and everything. And the response that I got, I did not know if this was going to be a resume generating event or not, was honestly the best thing I could have heard on the other end. He said, thank you for all that information. I don't know that I have any more follow-ups. You've already answered my questions. You told me who was at fault, what the issue was, and how you're going to make sure it never happens again. So I appreciate you prioritizing not talking to me and instead resolving the issue. But at this point, I'll let you have a good evening because this was very late at night. This was an overnight shift. And that right there taught me the value of, I had always been this was very early in my career. I was 20 at the time, 20 or 21. A little fearful of management, especially executive management, and admitting mistakes too, and telling them faults and telling them problems. And you're always supposed to expose this level of strength and confidence and all these sorts of things. And this was one where I could not figure out a way around this, especially being the CEO. And I, from then on, learned to simply just be honest. And it's funny, as I moved up in the chain and I became a leader and a manager and a director and all these different things, that I just wanted my people to be honest with me, because I, as the leader, can't solve the problems of the team or the company or the culture or the hiring process, whatever it is that's at fault for X problem occurring. I can't solve it if I don't know about it. And I, as the leader, am not going to know about every problem and every issue. So I need people to be honest with me. And at the same time, if a particular person on the team needs growth in an area, whether it's a hard skill, soft skill, anything along those lines, again, if they own up to it, then now the company can help facilitate that growth, and even more specifically myself as the leader in that organization. So this is the power of speaking the truth all of the time, or at least not lying, even when you have the opportunity to do so. And it can lead to your own growth. It can lead to your own respect. It can make your speech powerful. It's that simple. And so this is just something that I really, really wanted to convey, because when you are going for promotions, when a company is looking for leaders, it's looking for voices. And the other thing that I'm going to say is it's looking for voices backed up by actions. And so something that I always tell every person who has ever worked for me is say what you're going to do and do what you're going to say. And I will do the same. And if I don't, then you have every right to hold me accountable as well. And so this is just simply that form of, by saying what you're going to do, doing what you're going to say. And this is another form of speaking the truth, or at least not lying. Because if you say you're going to do something and don't do it, that is a lie. You said you were going to do this thing, and then you lied about it because you chose not to do it. So this is where you kind of have an intermingling of not just the language that you choose, but also the actions that coincide with that language. This all encompasses with the truth versus lying. And if you want to move up and you want to be more valued, this is how you do that. And it's both outward and inward, right? Because outward, we're talking here, whether it's to colleagues or subordinates or people above the chain, any of them, by always telling the truth, they will always listen and always value your words. It might hurt. You might piss some people off. And this is where we're going to kind of get into a level of gray area here, where I'm going to say, as a general rule of thumb, shed the niceties. Get rid of them, right? Say as few words as possible to say what you're trying to say to that person, to that feedback, and be effective. Now, that person is going to respond by either saying, spot on, they're going to get angry, or they're going to have evidence to the contrary. And each of these allows for forward progress. Spot on. Awesome. Now that person moves forward. Angry, well, this could be either because they realize deep down that it's true. You can try to diffuse the situation. It could also be that you learn, hey, in the future, I might need to fluff this language a little bit. Now I need to add in a little bit of nicety again for this particular personality. Or if they have the counter evidence to do so, then now you can analyze your own bias and say, oh my God, I told this person that they are lacking communication effectively, but yet everyone else around them actually says that they're very awesome to communicate with, and it's just me. So am I the issue? Right? So now you get to analyze your own biases by simply removing the niceties and telling people what needs to be told. And again, whether that's feedback to them, saying what you're going to do, or presenting your 2 cents on a given scenario. And so when a company is looking for leaders, they're looking for that combination of actions and words. So you need to have the vision. You need to be able to have the counter opinion. You need to be able to present ideas that are going to move things forward, that aren't going to be status quo, that are going to be looking to constantly strive forward, and then the actions to back them up. So that, hey, because here's the thing, if somebody calls you on your words and calls you on your idea and goes, that's a great idea, I think, go for it. Now you have to back it up with your actions. So now you have to be willing to take actions on the word. So this is, I think, a fairly heavy responsibility, but it's a moral responsibility. And it's one that will serve you over and over and over again. And you will refine what your phraseology is for the truth display that you're going to do over and over again. And you will learn to adapt to your audience. But at the end of the day, the root of everything, whether it's fluffed, whether it's blunt, whether it's somewhere in between, is going to be rooted in the truth. And that's how you can be okay with it. So whether you are looking to move up or not, that's going to be key, is tell the truth, or at least don't lie, and act out the truth, and definitely don't act against the truth. Just that simple. So this is something that I just wanted to put out there. I wanted to tell, a story of mine about this, but it is something that just comes up time and time and time again with people that either work for me or above me or lateral to me that I just encounter in my professional career, as well as I encounter from clients, that people are scared to voice their genuine opinion. And I get it. We are in a day and age of sensitivity and am I going to cross boundaries? And the thing is this is where you need to understand, is something worth saying or not? Like, what is the benefit of maybe voicing your political opinion in the professional workplace? Does that serve you if it's going to be something that you know is a high risk? No. But as long as it's professional related, it's company related, it's feedback related on someone's professional conduct or performance or whatever, you are only serving everybody else by speaking the truth. You are giving yourself the ability to acknowledge and analyze your biases. You are engaging in conversation that's rooted in truth to allow actual valid discussion. You are trying to move an organization forward by telling them the truth about a potential idea that they have, or you're giving an individual feedback that allows them to analyze themselves and figure out how to move themselves forward. So no matter what, yeah, the truth hurts sometimes, but the truth is what gets you to where you want to go. And so by you being a pillar of that, you are making your words powerful, you're making yourself effective, and you're presenting the opportunity for growth for yourself, people around you, and the companies around you. The thing that you're going to have to practice is simply how to say the truth, because a blunt object is not always the right object. And that'll probably be a different video, a different way that we can frame the truth in multiple scenarios. But the key principle that I want to get across here is always speak the truth. And I hope that this video helps. I hope that this helps you feel more confident in speaking the truth and accepting both the positive and negative consequences that sometimes comes with that. But it will serve you nothing but good in the long run to adopt this philosophy. I hope this continues to make your aspirations become your story. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any feedback, questions, follow-ups, comment down below. And if you're liking all the content thus far, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.